Lazy people do a little work and think they should be winning, but winners work as hard as possible and still worry if they're being lazy.
What is going on, guys? What's going on? We are out here at El Niño Training Center. You know what it is. It's a lab podcast. One more episode, and we got Antonio Vasquez here. Thank you for allowing us to be in here, for giving us this special time. I know you got a fight coming up, May 18.
Yeah.
Man, how do you feel?
I mean, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really ready, prepared, and I'm ready to fight tomorrow. Honestly, eager to say eager to really get in there. But just trying to take my time, make sure I'm fully prepared, so I could go out there and perform really well for all the fans and everybody to come out to support us. And we're trying to make it big, for the Bay Area, and really trying to show out and show what the Bay Area people and what we are about and how we fight. So.
Yeah, I know, and it's exciting. I mean, just, having this show on the Bay, having it in San Jose, having Bay Area fighters. I mean, I got excited just from looking at the news and seeing this stuff's coming out.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's going to get a lot of eyes. You guys will get a lot of eyes. So
especially, and I think we're super grateful. I'm super blessed too, because our main coach, he's going to be one of the spokespersons for this new organization, Fight Night at the Teck. And so I think they're going to take it to new heights. I think people, love Gilbert. And I think people know what Scott Croker has done for his other promotions with Strikeforce, Bellator, and everything like that. So I think we all know to the heights and potential it could lead to, which is why I'm excited to fight on that card too.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's, like I was saying before, it's a door that's opening for the Bay and for fighters, and just to have a scene out here and not just, a little bit in LA, a little bit in Vegas, a lot in Vegas.
Yeah.
But now it's, a little bit in the Bay. Hopefully big shows start coming in here as well. So
yeah, I want to bring all the big fighters out here and have some big fights out here in San Jose or wherever, somewhere in the Bay Area. Yeah. I think one of my ultimate goals is to be able to fight at the Chase Center where the Warriors play one day. I think that'd be really fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it happened. I mean, now it's done.
Trying to speak it into existence,
Right? Yeah, do that. That's the train is moving. So
yes, sir.
No, but I'm excited. So you're 5-0, undefeated.
Yes, sir.
I know your last fight was pretty tough. It was some stuff happened there. Your hand got injured. Yeah. How's that doing? How's the hand?
It's doing really good. I did hurt my hand in the first round. Went through it. Didn't want to tell my coaches nothing. So I went in the second round, just putting them away. Stopped playing games. Had to get surgery afterwards though, and it was my first surgery, my first real injury and everything. So it was a real trip, and it was kind of depressing, but it taught me a lot, and it almost made my technique a lot sharper because I had to relearn everything again.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm grateful for it. It was a blessing in disguise, just because I feel that much sharper and that much better and that much more prepared. And now I feel like I'm a little bit more in tune with my body too, which is always good.
Okay, man, that's good. And now you're, would you say you're going to another fight, you kind of are more careful on, the skills, or I guess have a bigger mindset on the skills and.
Yeah, just trying to make sure I don't make the same mistakes as I did last time. I feel like every time we fight, it's always just trying to make an improvement on what we did last time.
Yeah.
But I think this next opponent, he's not going to be ready for what we have in store. We've been working really hard.
Okay.
I've been training really hard. Me and my teammate Sky Sean Jones, we were fighting on the same card. We've been getting after it. We've been having hard sparring sessions, hard training sessions. And man, we were really trying to take our opponents' heads off, honestly.
Yeah.
We were coming for the necks.
And who's your opponent that you have on this card?
My opponent is going to be Andrew Campos. He's an AKA fighter.
Okay.
San Jose.
Man, this is, I mean, you got AKA against El Niño and Gilbert. I mean, it's like, let's see who comes up
best
on
of the
top.
Bay, right?
Yeah, best of the Bay.
Yeah, and I know my team is the best. We train with that confidence, and we train hard every day so that we can have that confidence. And we've gone out there, we proved it. The last time our team went out, we won all the fights that week, and we went 3-0 at the LFA fights.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Our team trains hard, and we get ready, and we know how to fight, and we know how to scrap too.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, Scrap pack. Let's
Scrap
go.
pack, yeah, right. I had to get a shirt. I was like, I got represent since we're gonna do this interview here.
I respect that.
That's dope. What's your training schedule looking like? You know, I mean, I know you're on camp now, right? What's the training schedule looking like?
I mean, we're training every day for sure. I mean, most days I probably wake up in the morning. I'll probably come into the gym first thing, get a little stretch, warm up in, nothing too crazy, and then depending on if it's a sparring day or if it's just a regular training session, we do like either we do like MMA sparring or we do like jiu-jitsu, and then we do like a Muay Thai like class. I feel like Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are always like the most intense.
Okay.
Of sparring rounds going in. A lot of good work though, and a lot of different styles too. Thankfully, being here at El Niño is kind of like a mecca for everybody who trains here on this side of the bay, even in the East Bay too. And we get a lot of good people come out here from different gyms, you know, the 10 Planet Oakland or 10 Planet Daly City.
Yeah, we're just there,
Yeah. So Scrap Pack is a big family, but I'm very grateful for everybody that's in this family because they're making me that much better, you know. And I try to do the same thing, trying to help them out, make them that much better. We all have a lot of experience in this game. I've been training full time since I was 16 years old. So
Oh, okay. Also,
I've always wanted to be a fighter. So.
How old are you now?
I'm 23. I'm gonna be 24 in November. Yeah.
And I asked Skychon's the same. It's like 23. I'm like, man, that's you got a whole future ahead. And you know, I mean, right now, you know, stepping into these fights, I mean, I can see you guys, you know, with the mentality that you guys have, just knowing you guys. Man, that's a UFC prospect right there.
Right, thank you. Yeah, we try to be controlled violence, you know, controlled chaos and everything. But we're for sure violent people.
Yeah, so. What got you into fighting? I mean, talking about violent.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like I always watched fights with my parents growing up, but they always watched like UFC fights, or Ultimate Fighter and stuff like that. And then second grade, I started getting into like my first fights. And then when I got a little bit older, my uncle, he did jiu-jitsu at his best friend's gym. And so I decided to go out and try it one day, and my parents put me and my siblings in, and I kind of stuck with it. I was one of the ones that stuck with it, and I started training jiu-jitsu Muay Thai when I was 12, 13. Did a couple competitions, won both of them, and I was feeling really good. But then I moved, you know, like I said, I moved around a lot. I took a break, and then 16, I kind of got back into it because I was missing it so bad. I felt like a part of me was like missing, you know. So I had to get back to it, and I started training full time, and kind of took me to where I'm at now, you know. So it's been a very long journey, and I hope to have a very long journey still to come, because one day I do want to be the best of the best, and I want to improve that to everybody, that I can outwork anybody, you know.
That's what I admire about fighters. That, you know, it's not, they don't get into fighting because they just want to beat somebody up. I mean, of course, that's fun, but it's always like that goal of like being the best and best at, you know, either you do a jiu-jitsu tournament or MMA fight or it's like just being the best. So that's inspiring.
Yeah, I feel like I've always been very competitive, especially when I was a kid. I was always outside trying to play with my cousins. I was boxing with my cousins outside. I didn't know how to do shit. But I was always trying to be competitive, you know, always wanting to win. I didn't want to lose ever, because if I lost, I'd really get on top of myself. I kind of think of myself as a perfectionist, you know. I always want to go after what I do. I'll give it my 100 and win, you know. So if I don't win, I try to keep myself accountable.
Okay.
So I love fighting. I feel like there's nothing else like fighting. Don't get me wrong, it's a team effort to get ready and prepared for a fight. But once you're in there,
it's a solo.
Yeah, it's you. It's on you. You know, you can't fuck up.
Man. So would you say like your childhood, you know, pretty good childhood? No traumas that you say I need to fight because I need to get this out.
I don't know. I feel like everybody has a story. You know, everybody has a little background. I kind of just think it's if you let it get to you or not, how you want to perceive yourself and hold yourself as a person. I kind of saw this person who I wanted to be as a kid, and I tried my best to betray that person and become that person. I've had a few like hard experiences in my life. Like I said, I moved around a lot. I got my first full-time job when I was like 15 years old, 15 years old. So, I mean, like, I know what it is to work hard. I seen my family struggle, you know, not have much to eat, so I had to go out and work. I seen unfortunately, you know, things happen to family members, you know, aren't always the best, and even having to cut off family members too, which sucks. But it's very motivating, for sure. And I I do remind myself every time I step into that cage, you know, I've come this far. I am who I am today because of that. I ain't gonna let nobody stop me, you know, because I would have already stopped and given up and quit.
Yeah, with all those challenges and all those, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's
I keep on pushing.
no, that's dope. I admire that. All right, random question. I gotta ask you.
Okay.
What's the city that you would say it's not Bay Area? It
not
doesn't
Bay Area?
belong on the Bay Area list.
Like consider like would I consider like outside the Bay Area, or would I consider like a city inside the Bay that I don't think it should be part of the Bay?
Well, you know, like how you know, there's a lot of controversy that people say, like, you know, ENIAC. They say ENIAC is not part of the Bay Area.
Yeah.
I mean, they're even throwing in there, like, you know, part of the San Francisco that's not on the Bay Area.
Yeah,
This
that
is
is
off
great.
the-
I think it's literally on the Bay, but I don't know. I used to fight with people a lot about Santa Rosa, actually. Santa Rosa.
Right, Santa Rosa.
Yeah, I used to fight with people about that because I always thought Santa Rosa has North Bay because it was 707. But I know a lot of people don't agree with me there. Yeah.
I think that's something we'll probably never figure it out. Everybody will have their own opinion, and you know, it's the Bay Area.
Yeah.
It's not LA. It's
No.
LA.
Yeah. And the Bay Area is big, you know, but I love this place. There's no place I'd rather be, you know. Even like my parents right now, they're in Mexico. They have their own little condo in Mexico. And
Okay.
I just want to stay out here and fight. That's what I love, you know. I love
Yeah.
this area.
Man, that's crazy. So and you know, I can see where you got the fighting too, because you got some Mexican on you.
Yes, sir. Mexican corazón.
Yeah, right. What's your parents originally? Where are they from?
My mom, she was born in Santa Rosa as well. She grew up around there. My pops, he was born in San Jose, and he grew up around there. But he used to go like every summer as a kid down to Mexico because his grandparents were from Mexico.
Okay.
And then when I was like 13, they took me down there, and I didn't speak a lick of Spanish, nothing like that. I had to go out meet all these supposed family members that I had never met before.
You never met, and they all
yeah.
speak Spanish.
Yeah, and then when they go to teach me Spanish, they teach me like say the like dumb stuff first or bad words, you know, calm myself, you know, certain things, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no. But it's the Mexican culture, you know, they're very funny people, you know, and they like to have a good time, and I respect that a lot, and I kind of think of myself the same way. I like to have a good time and be a funny person as well.
No, that's dope. So, you know, back at you. This fight that you have coming up, you know, what gets you motivated to just like, you know, get in the cage and you know, throw some blows.
Just honestly, just seeing how far I've come already, you know, I think that's more motivating enough. But if I ever need like some extra motivation, I just look at my teammates and what they're doing, because I know they're always working hard. Sometimes, you know, I'll just go through my Instagram feed and see what they've been up to, and it's super inspirational to me. I'm like, damn, I want to do that too.
Yeah.
You know, so I come in here and I train just as hard or even harder. You know, so that's kind of my motivation. My mother, she's always been sick when I was growing up. So she's always been a big motivator too, and she talks to me in a very unique, very way. She tells me all the time, you know, I didn't raise you to be a quitter or soft,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
or anything like that. And she's a little vulgar, but I love her, and I appreciate it a lot, and I feel like it's made me into who I am today. You know, so I think my mom's one of the biggest motivators for sure.
Oh man, that's, you know, huge right there.
Yeah.
So, now I know it's you know, every fighter is different, and you know, their motivation or even just what they feel when they get into the cage is different. But like, what do you feel when you go in the cage? And like, I mean, for me, I got into fights on high school, and it's like, okay, you know, we're just fighting outside of school or whatever, but getting into a cage where there's nobody else in there, you're just gonna go in there and get punched and throw them punches. Like, what's the feeling?
All these people watching. And stuff.
All that. I mean, you're adding a lot more. You know, a high school fight or a street fight is very different than a cage fight. So, what's the feeling?
Honestly, I know for a lot of people it's different. Me, I try to stay as calm as possible beforehand. I even try to take a nap, you know, before the fight, even backstage and everything.
Okay.
But once it's time for me to start warming up, I just started getting it. I started. I get a lot of. I get anxious and very like a little bit nervous but excited because like it's not very often that you get to feel that butterfly feeling in your stomach, you know. And I get excited off that. Anytime I feel butterflies, I'm like, ooh, like, let's go. Like I have an opportunity to be great, and that's how I see
Yeah.
it as. Every time I get butterflies, I have an opportunity to be great or to fold, you know. So I always use that as motivation to go out there, and it kind of juices me up, and then I could just kind of like try to get into my primal side, and I started just going and I start
Feeling
feeling
that,
ready, you know.
man,
And then
feeling
when I
that with
walk
energy.
out, it's just when I walk out, it's almost like just second nature at that point. It's just like I'm sparring or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super easy. It's just before the fight we really start to feel it.
Would you say 90% of the time nervous kick in, and like, do you always have nervous? Do you always get nervous before the fight?
I think before every fight, yeah, I care a lot about my performance and how I do. So I've always wanted to go out and do my best and show out and show that my team's the best. You know?
Okay.
So I do get nervous, but I never use that. I never let that nervous
Kind of
pull me
overtake
down,
you.
or take me. I try to use it as fuel to become better. You know,
Okay.
one of my favorite UFC fighters, John Jones. He said he does the exact same thing. You know, you can either let these fears and these nerves overcome you, or you can use it as fuel and become great. you know?
Great. Yeah.
So that's what I try to do. You know.
Yeah. That's yeah, and you know he's proven it.
Yeah, yes,
The
yes,
fighter.
multiple
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. Multiple times.
That's also what I love about him is that he's able to adapt to every situation. He's a very smart and calculated fighter. And that's how I want to be. I want to be smart and calculated. I want to just like be stronger, faster than my opponent. I want to be smarter than him and show him that I know more than you and I can outwork you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's smart. Now, what about that song that gets you going and that gets you? Is it a Barrier song or just in general? What's the song that gets you going? Like even on training days.
Anything by Mac Dre or Andre
Oh, shit.
Nicotina, those are my
Okay.
guys right there. I was very old school, so my dad put me onto a lot of music. So anytime I need to get into the mood, I listen to Mac Dre or Andre Nicotina. Anything hyphy era too. Sometimes if I'm feeling a little bit more, my Mexican side, sometimes I listen to corridos and stuff like
Okay.
that. A little Chalino Sanchez or something.
Oh,
like
old school.
that, yeah.
You're not even talking about new guys.
I mean, I listen to new school sometimes too, like corridos tumbados,
Okay.
But for the most part, I like my old school stuff.
Chalino
Very old school,
Sanchez and
yeah.
okay, no, that's it's like Chalino and Mike Dre
Yeah.
mixed together. True, that's
Yeah,
that's a good combination.
yeah, and that's kind of like how I envision when I fight. I envision myself as Andre Nicotina, the little bit darker side, and then like the mean, the vulgar side, and then
Yeah.
Mac Dre, my kind of like I'm able to dance and flow and like be stizzy type of
Yeah.
style,
A little more flexible and just
Yeah.
being stupid. That's
Yeah, it's feeling good.
yeah. There you go, man. That's amazing. That's dope.
Yeah, right.
No, that's man. That's it's great to be here on this space and just talking with you. The event that's coming up. I'm excited to just see what it's gonna blow up for the Bay Area.
Sure.
And then the door that's gonna open for all of you guys fighters. Now, with that door being open, what's the goal? What's the future goal that you see yourself? I know there was a question a while back on one of the interviews. Somebody asked you, what's the future, and you're like, well, I wanna be a pro. I wanna stop doing amateur, and like my next fight is gonna be a pro.
Yeah.
Now this fight is gonna be an amateur, but I can understand the opportunity, like
For sure.
being in there. But after this fight, or of course not looking ahead, but after this fight, what's the future for Antonio?
After this fight, I think the future is to train. Obviously, continue to keep training and teaching. I've been teaching a lot more recently, which I really enjoy too because it helps me feel like I understand the technique a little bit better that way. But I do want to go pro. I know I said that before, but I still want to go pro. I think after this fight, for sure, I'm gonna go pro after this. Whether that being pro with Fight Night at the Tech, which would be an amazing opportunity under Scott Croker,
Yeah.
or with anybody who's willing to pay me good for what I do. And let's go out there and perform well and try to take dudes out. You know, whether I get paid by LFA or Fight Night at the Tech or anybody, and I don't really care. I just want to go out there and perform and to be the best.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
eventually, I want to go to the highest levels, which I think right now the highest levels of fighters are a little bit in the UFC. I think there's some great fighters who won championship in PFL too. But I think UFC just has the name alone. You get a lot of popularity and fame off of that. So, and my brother too, Hyder Emil, he just made it into the UFC. I think that for sure is goals of mine. I eventually want to get there.
Yeah, no, I mean, and just him being in there, it's not like I think he just jumped overnight to the UFC. It's the, hard work that he has put in and Gilbert and
Exactly.
I mean, you being, part of the pack, as I can see that he's really working on you guys to make it. And yeah, the UFC it's the name.
Yeah. It's very motivating though, and especially with Hyder being able to make it really like proved and showed to us that we can do that too. Because like Hyder, when he first came to the gym, he started out as like a front desk person, and he was like helping out at the front desk and everything that. Yeah. And then when I first came to the gym, I needed a job, so I started working the front desk. So I trained too, and I was like, damn, if Hyder could do it, I could do it too.
Yeah.
So it's very motivating, and I love my brother to death.
So now, if you had the opportunity, would you do the Ultimate Fighter, or would you do the Dana Contender Series?
I mean, I would do either or. If I was on the Ultimate Fighter, though, I would not be playing a lot of those games. Those cats be playing on there.
Yeah.
I'm just not that type of guy, I like Nate's steez when he comes into the Ultimate Fighter house, ready to fuck anybody up. Shout out to season 5, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'll be more than willing to do the Ultimate Fighter. I think that would be a really cool opportunity and experience, especially depending on who the coaches are and everything like that. I think the Contender Series would be a really cool opportunity too, just because I'd be contract to the UFC that much faster.
Yeah.
Also, like my brother too, he did the Contender Series and won the fight. Also, he had the most takedowns defended in Contender Series history, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
It was like 18
Already
takedowns
breaking
defended.
records.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a good show too.
Yeah.
Either one.
Either one.
I don't care.
Not one specific or.
I just want to travel and fight. Honestly. I wanna
Yeah.
Go out and see new places and beat motherfuckers' ass.
No, that's crazy. How do you feel about the new tough coming up? It's the Mexican champ Alexa Grasso and Shevchenko. How do you feel about that? Do you watch it at all?
I
or
do.
you just watch
do,
the Nate?
I do watch it. I'm kind of. I don't know who's gonna be fighting on that, but I'm excited to see what Alexa, or she brings her to the table. I enjoy her as a fighter, and I like following her a lot and watching all of her fights. But Valentina, she's a badass of a woman, I think Valentina do really well coaching. I don't really know Grasso that well though. I don't know how well she is gonna be as a coach. But I'm definitely rooting for her.
Okay.
Grasso would be really cool to see her win, just because it's another Mexican fighter. See out there on top.
Yeah. It's always we're always cheering for the Rosa. So
Yeah. Mi gente.
yeah. Now, you think there's gonna be some drama and some of course, it's the entertainment business. So,
I mean, for sure, I think so for sure. I think they'll probably have a little couple of squabbles here and there. Talk some shit to each other. Which is making it entertaining.
yeah, it's a show.
They
You gotta do that.
And then if they do end up fighting, I think that'd be one hell of a fight.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, number 3. So, now, how do you feel about that part of the business, the entertainment part of it? Are you want to do like the sugar type entertainment, or are you like a Nick Diaz entertainment? Like how do you wanna your fist to talk? Or how do you feel about that part of the business?
I understand that it's an entertainment business, and we gotta put on a show for people. But at the same time, I never want to be fake. I never want to be phony. So I never pretend to be somebody who I'm not.
Okay.
And that's why I respect Nick and Nate, because they always kept it real, and they've always been real fighters, and they always represented themselves. I like that a lot. Don't get me wrong, I respect Sugar and what he's done. I don't like some of the people he was hanging out with, or some of the, and some of the things he's done. Respect to him as a fighter, though, But no, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I would for sure. I'm not scared of drama. I'm not scared of putting on a show. Even talking a little bit of shit, but I'll never like fake how I feel or fake some funk just for the camera or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ever do that. No.
And I think, the California culture of fighting comes from, I think Nick, put the stamp on this is for
sure.
We're real. We're fighters. And we're going to take shit, but
represent.
Right.
Represent.
That's from Real Ink, right? The
This
represent, the brand. And
yes, sir.
Yeah, no, I like that brand.
Pray for my enemies, as it says on the tag.
Yeah. You guys get a lot of merch from Represent here? Or?
Sometimes we
buy
do.
it?
Gil gets a lot of merch, and then Gil sometimes blesses us up. But we always try to help out and support too. Not that they need it anyway, but it's always nice to.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But even just going out there and being able to train with those guys alone, I think that's so cool. I remember my first couple of times going out there and being able to smoke with Nate and Nate and all that. And it was crazy to me, but I mean now it's kind of the norm, go out there and just train, getting good rounds, and they're watching you, but it feels good.
Yeah, no, I mean it's people you watch on TV and they have history, so you watch them on TV, but then to meet them in person, that's different.
Even Gil, I remember meeting for the first couple times, and not trying not to fanboy out or anything like that,
Yeah.
So it's crazy to see how far we've come, because now he's like a brother, but he's also been a mentor for me, and he's helped me out a lot. I don't know, a lot of my game is changed, not changed, but evolved to a type of his style.
Yeah.
It's helped a lot.
That's it seems like you, man, the beginning of getting in here and having the right coaches, and I'm excited. This next night coming up, I'm gonna, man, I'll be there. I'm gonna watch it. Yeah. No, you know it. Now, man, we gotta talk about the smoke.
Yeah.
Cause I saw you smoke. I saw you What's the favorite? What's the one that you just go with and
I don't know. That's hard. There's a lot of different flavors, a lot of different brands out there. Recently, I've been smoking a lot more of my homies thing. Shout out to Permanent Holiday, they're the man for sure. They got a lot of good tree. He's been blessing me out, and even the bag work alone, the bag work and designs they have for all their smoke. It's so cool. I think it's really intricate. It's really cool. But they have really a lot of good fire, a lot of straight white ash and everything. Don't run, so it's nice.
Okay.
It's nice, yeah.
and you use it for after training, after
I do
a good fight, and
I do for sure. It's mostly for recovery. Going through all this intense training, we're in pain a lot of the time, and it's sometimes hard to sleep. Sometimes it's hard to eat just because you don't really have an appetite, because you just got done putting in, 5-minute rounds or whatever it may be. So smoking definitely helps me keep my appetite, be able to eat, be able to recover, and feel like I'm me again. Be happy, and I'm not a sad, just miserable person.
you're just dealing with that pain, and then,
Yeah, I never wanted to be that type of guy, and I won't lie, it kind of runs in my family a little bit, so I think that's probably where I got it from.
I think it runs on the entire Bay Area. Thanks, Burner. You put that stamp on everybody smoking. It's funny. I did a podcast over in a dispensary, and just seeing the people who were walking in, it's not the people that you think that are smoking. It's like lawyers, engineers, doctors. They're all walking in, buying what they need, and older ladies, young ladies. So it's man, that's I was just surprised to see all that, but now it's it's the normal.
Yeah, I feel like especially in the past 10 years alone, the game has changed so much. You don't really have to go to some sketchy neighborhood to go see a sketchy guy. It's very nice to be able to have a dispensary you go where it's patrolled, and you're not gonna run into any trouble or anything like
Yeah.
that. You know, so that's cool. But it's always nice to have the plug too. I won't lie.
Oh yeah.
The plug be there. Shout
But
out to
now-
my guy fogged up glass.
Now it's even better because those plugs become the brand that will just sponsor you, and it's or just the homie that's gonna give you that their own stuff. But count that as a sponsor. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Fogged Up Glass. He's been there since day one, and he's always been, helping me out a lot and showing me a lot too, how to be smart about it too, not just carelessly, just being some dumb early,
Yeah.
20s, just doing stupid shit, getting high and stuff like that. So it helped me be active. I like to think of myself as an active stoner. I go out, I do smoke, but I compete. I also teach and I also train a lot.
Yeah, no, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
You're not laying on the couch smoking.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not some lazy guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your message that you have for maybe these young kids, or maybe that kid that's gonna watch you fight on May 18? What's the message to them if they're watching? They're like, I want to do that.
Well, first and foremost, if you're a kid and you're watching me fighting, stay in school. Okay, school is important.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to finish high school. I actually had to get my GED and everything.
Okay.
Because I started fighting full time. If you want to be a fighter, come try out a class, whether it's a jiu-jitsu class or boxing class or a kickboxing class. Just try it out, fill it out, and have some fun. Honestly, if you want to take it a little bit more serious, though, just give it some time. Try to really fill it out because this sport is not to be played around with. It's a very serious sport, and injuries do happen, and people are going to try hitting you, so you got to be ready for that. It definitely takes a special type of individual. But if you feel like you got the ball to do that, give it a try, kid. Go out and train. I definitely want to see everybody train, though. I feel like self-defense is very important, especially as for kids. They're in school. You don't want them to get bullied or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
So it helps to teach them to defend themselves, but also installs confidence and discipline and respect. And I felt like because I started out as a kid too, at 12, 13 years old, it really helped me, changed me into who I am today.
I think you nailed it. It's that confidence too. I think having that confidence, you can accomplish everything you want.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And I didn't really realize that either because I've always been a very confident person. But I met other people who weren't confident. I'm like, what? That's crazy. How do you not try that? You're like, because I just don't want to look bad or silly or something.
Oh yeah,
That's crazy. I could never stop myself like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, anything you do, the first thing you give it a try out, it's not going to be as good as if you had 100 reps or 1,000 reps in or something like that. I'm sure your first podcast interview wasn't the same as your most recent one, right?
Yeah, I know. It always gets better. It always improves, and I always search for that feedback or tell me what I can do better.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's it's on everything: school, fighting, podcasts, videos, all that. So.
Absolutely, and you're always learning, right?
Yeah.
Always learning. Yeah, don't stop. We have a saying in the fight world, you're always a white belt, right? When it comes to mentally up here, whether you have a black belt, brown belt, purple belt, don't matter. You're always a white belt mentally, so you can always pick up more information and learn from everybody that's around you.
Great way to say it. Tell people where they can find you, your Instagram, where they can follow you.
You can find me on Instagram at Antonio_70714. You can find me on YouTube too. I'm Antonio Vasquez. And I'm here at El Niño Training Center. If you want to come gain some training or you want to take some pictures, by all means. Scrap Pack is where it's at. We're the best team out here, and we're going to represent to the fullest. But yeah, follow me on social media, Antonio_7714 Instagram.
Man, well, I appreciate you taking the time, allowing me to come into your space and getting to know you a little bit more. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. If y'all need some tickets too, ticket link in the bio.
Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Follow us. It's a Loud Podcast.
Let's go.
We're out.
Okay.